Vancouver, and I'm delighted to be joined by Alan Legal, the virtual CIO at Ricoh Canada. Alan, hi.
Thank you very much for having me.
Our pleasure. Alan is going to be participating in a session this afternoon around driving the business through technology. I'm very much looking forward to that. Before we get into a bit of content there, for those who may not know what Ricoh are up to these days, can you just give us a bit of an overview, please?
Sure. So Ricoh continues to help its customers move along the digital transformation continuum. We want our customers to understand the digital assets that they have, the information, how best to use that information to drive their own business forward. So driving the business through technology is a topic of great interest to me, and I'm happy to be here to talk about it.
Great. And as I mentioned, you're going to be one of the facilitators in the session this afternoon. Interesting topic. A lot of people still seem to struggle to get that executive buy-in. Really kind of convince the board that, hey, we're an enabler, not a commodity, right? What do you think people can start doing if they're struggling around trying to get that buy-in at the executive level? Or I suppose when we look at driving the business through technology, what does that really even mean to you from the get-go?
Well, I think the challenge that most IT leaders have is articulating the business value of technology, whether it's an implementation, a project, an upgrade, regulatory compliance, etc. That becomes the challenge, but technology people typically speak the language of technology, not the language of business. So being able to articulate the value of technology projects in business language, I think, is key, so that business leaders can understand that they're getting value from their assets, and here's the actual business value, whether it's revenue, whether it's compliance, whether it's achievement of organizational goals for not-for-profits, etc. That's what I think is key.
Right, okay. And Ricoh have been doing a lot of talking as well around change management of late. How does that fit into the whole kind of driving the business through technology ecosystem?
So change management at the organizational level really speaks to the impact on everyday staff as well as the customers. And so change management is absolutely inclusive in terms of having the conversation around business value of the technology enablement and the assets that people are investing in. So it's absolutely required. It's critical.
Great. And when we get into the room later and the session begins, there's obviously going to be, I think, quite a broad spectrum of people who, have IT in the boardroom versus those who are still struggling. I suppose, what do you want people to be able to take away from this session today and be able to go and do tomorrow?
What I'd like to see is I'd like IT leaders to start speaking about technology from a business value perspective. I want them to understand the difference between organizational IT and business IT. Business IT for me is technology that drives revenue generating activities or driving organizational goals versus operational or organizational IT, which really supports business activities but doesn't help drive the business forward. I think if we can make that distinction, we can target our technology spend on those things that help drive the business forward, and I think business leaders, that will resonate with them.
Definitely, and I suppose lastly would be how are Ricoh placed to help people on this journey?
Well, we start with a business-first approach to technology and technology consulting. We get to know your business before we want to understand your technology. Business first. That's the key to success.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.